Bilgin 263 launching. On February 21, 2020, Tatiana, the largest motor yacht ever built in Turkey, was launched. Two companies were involved in its creation. The Turkish studio Unique Yacht Design designed the hull, while the London bureau H2 Yacht Design took care of the interior. Construction began in March 2016 and lasted about 4 years. The specifications, as well as the size of the super yacht, are staggering. The vessel, with a steel hull and aluminium superstructure, reaches 80 meters in length. Its gross tonnage is 1,680 gross tons. The crew consists of 8 people. The yacht can accommodate 12 guests in 6 comfortable cabins. 2 MTU 16V 4000 M73 engines with an output of 2,625 horsepower power the yacht. Thanks to them, the boat can reach a speed of 20 knots and has a cruising range of 9,260 kilometers. An interesting feature is the presence of a special exhaust gas recirculation system, thanks to which Tatiana has a low level of harmful emissions into the atmosphere. The launch took place at the Bilgin shipyard in West Istanbul Marina, and of course, transporting such a large yacht was a challenge. Huge, heavy equipment was needed for the task. The process lasted 4 days. On the first day, specialists took the self-propelled modular transporter, the Goldhofer PST SLE, to the hangar, where the construction work was carried out. It comes equipped with more than 6 axles. In our case, 64 axles were needed for transportation. The weight of the construction was more than 273 tons, and each axle, when moving at a speed of 1 km per hour, is able to carry 45 tons of weight load. This machine was tasked with delivering the vessel from the hangar to the floating platform. On the second day, the yacht was loaded onto the modular transporter. On the third day, the Bilgin 263 finally moved to travel only a little over 100 meters forward. Such complicated and long preparations were only necessary to cover such a short distance. The last 4th day began with the delivery of the floating platform to the loading area. Then there was the long, laborious process of loading the vessel aboard. It was not until the late afternoon that the super yacht left the shipyard. The platform was then lowered so that the vessel could sail out of it on its own. Transportation and installation of reactors. SW Trans is a Russian company which has been engaged in the transportation of heavy oversized cargo for many years. At the end of 2016, its specialists faced a real challenge. The Pavlodar petrochemical plant needed to deliver and install 2 large-capacity reactors. The transportation was part of the project to modernize the primary oil refining complex. The first reactor, the R3011, weighed 561 tons. It was 28.2 meters long, 6.4 meters wide, and 6.2 meters tall. The second reactor, the R3012, weighed 582 tons. It was almost 26 meters long, 6.8 meters wide, and 6.4 meters tall. Thus, all in all, the company had to transport a cargo weighing over 1,000 tons over a distance of about 20 kilometers. The starting point was the village of Michurina in the Pavlodar region of Kazakhstan, where the cargo came from the South Korean city of Ulsan. 2 Mercedes-Benz tractor units, a MAN TGX 41600 tractor unit with 600 horsepower, and a 32-axle Schuyler Intercombi modular trailer were used for the transportation. The former was 3 meters wide and had an admissible load per axle of 12 tons. Finally, the last piece of equipment used for the task was the Liebherr LR11350 crawler crane. It can deliver hook heights of up to 223 meters. The maximum reach of the boom is 164 meters. The maximum lifting capacity is 1,350 tons. The main difficulty that the specialists had to deal with was the need to build a special haul road, 2 kilometers long, leading from the pier to the track. The transportation was also complicated by the harsh weather conditions and the natural features of the terrain. Transportation with Kometo MSPE. From June the 15th to June 22nd, 2016, a unique event took place. The transportation of the hull of one of the world's largest oil tankers, the BW Catcher. Today, it's a 241-meter long and 50-meter wide container ship. Its oil storage capacity is 65,000 barrels. Its shipping weight is 14,750 tons. However, 5 years ago, for the BW Catcher to be finally completed, its hull had to be transported from the Samkang MNT facility in South Korea to a shipyard in Singapore. The actual shipping was done on a special barge provided by Sungdong. The loading was performed by the Italian company Kometo. Its specialists considered that the most suitable equipment for the task were the electronic self-propelled vehicles, the MSPE Evo 2. This equipment was developed specifically for transporting valuable super-heavy loads in cramped conditions in any direction. A single axle can carry a load of up to 60 tons. A total of 324 axles had to be put together to transport the ship, so the final load capacity of the structure exceeded 19,000 tons. It was necessary to use 12 power units to set it in motion. The power of each was 455 horsepower. It's noteworthy that to assemble such a huge number of axles, specialists had to borrow some units from partner companies. Mammoet's freight transport. When talking about large-scale and extremely complex freight transport, it'd be strange not to mention the Dutch company Mammoet. It was founded in 1807 and nowadays has more than 10 divisions. Recently, it's been breaking all kinds of records, delivering the most unusual and largest cargoes all over the planet, both by land and water. For example, in January 2019, the company completed the daunting task of transporting a 744-ton splitter vessel. The equipment was built by the Canadian company Dacro Industries in Edmonton, Alberta. The cargo was expected in the city of Fort Saskatchewan 3 days later. The splitter vessel had a total of 40 kilometers to cover, and though the distance seems small, don't forget that the weight of the cargo exceeded 700 tons. The vessel's girth was 91 meters. This equipment is the largest and heaviest load the roads of Alberta have ever seen. 6 trucks had to be used for pushing and towing. In addition, the Schuyler Intercombi modular trailers, assembled from 26 axles, were involved. Even at low temperatures, snow and poor visibility didn't hinder the work. Our next stop is Mozambique, where late last year the company was transporting a mining plant owned by the Irish company Kenmare Resources. From the old site, the plant was moved to a new mineral-rich area on the northeast coast of Mozambique. The distance covered was 23 kilometers. The plant consisted of 2 parts, a 1,700-ton floating platform and a 7,000-ton concentrator. They were 80 meters long, 24 meters high, and 60 meters wide. In this case, self-propelled modular transporters were used for transportation. A total of 290 axles were assembled in one line. Interestingly, Mammoet's own equipment was used for loading. This is a system of heavy-duty jacks that allows the load to be lowered as well as lifted quickly and safely, eliminating the need for traditional dangerous machinery. The plant shipment to Mozambique broke several records at once. Never before had a modular transporter with such a huge number of axles been assembled in Africa. In addition, the construction ranked among the largest entire industrial facilities ever transported on the planet. The last freight transport we'll look at today was carried out in 2016, and we're no longer talking about short distances of just a few meters. This is the LM88-4P wind turbine blade. As of 2016, the longest in the world, with a length of 88.4 meters. The area which the construction needs to rotate exceeds the area of 3 soccer fields, or the Colosseum. The transport weight of the blade was 60 tons, and the height was 4.47 meters. The journey started from a plant in the Danish city of Lunderskov and ended at the Aalborg test center. In 5 hours and 45 minutes, the blade covered a distance of 218 kilometers. However, the long journey was preceded by an even longer preparation process, which took a total of 9 months. Nanoet specialists had to carefully plan the route down to every small turn. Some sections of the route required realignment to make the blade fit. Road signs were moved, trees were cut down. All of these modifications required prior approval from local authorities and the police. There were also several bridges along the route. The clearance to pass under the bridges measured just 3 centimeters.